In this lesson, we're going to be taking everything that we've learned so far and we're going to be putting it together to build a very simple project that you can actually play around in. So we're going to go step by step through this and we're going to be building something very simple, very small, using pre-made assets. So let's get started by first saving a new scene. So we're going to create a new scene by going up to File, New Scene. And we're going to name this scene Exercise. So let's go down to File, Save Scene As, and we'll save this as Exercise. So now we have 3 scenes within here. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be importing a vehicle package. And to do that, we're going to go up to Assets, Import Package, and then Vehicles. We're going to be using a vehicle from here to actually drive around and actually hit a few cubes using rigid body components. So let's just import everything that this package contains. Let's click on Import. Alright, so it looks like our package has finished importing. Let's take a look at the standard assets folder once again. We're going to go into Vehicles. So just open it up. And here we have the option to select a aircraft or a car. We're going to utilize a car. And we're going to go into the prefabs. So the prefabs are going to be the completed version of this vehicle or this object of some sort. In this case, that's going to be our car. I'm going to drag in the car itself. You can see what it looks like there. Now we need something to actually drive on. So to do that, we're going to create a new plane. Let's go to Game Object, 3D Object, Plane. I'm going to set the position to 0, 0, 0. Typically, I like setting it down to 0, 0, 0 as it gives us a good reference point of where to start off with. I'm going to scale this up quite a bit, but I'm going to be using my scale value here. So let's increase this to 10 by 10. And now we're going to be adding a few cubes which will have rigid body components that we can run into. So let's go to Game Object, 3D Object, Cube. We need to move this up, so we'll use our Translate tool. And once again, if it's too far away, just press F to zoom in. And I want to place this on the ground. All right, so it looks like it's on the ground right there. Now let's make this a bit more colorful. Now we're going to be going over using materials. It's not something we've covered so far, but it is going to be a very simple process. So let's go back to our Assets folder, and I'll just create a material within the project panel. We'll right-click in here, Create, Material, and we'll call it Red. And this is going to be a red material. So we need to go down to the albedo section. You'll see a color picker here. Click on that and then select a red color. Now drag the material onto the game objects that you want to color. In this case, that's going to be our cube. So left click and drag it onto the cube, and there we go. Now I can save this cube as a prefab, but I also want to apply a rigid body component to this. So left click on the cube. Let's go to Add Component, look for a rigid body, and add rigid body. We'll leave the default values as is, and now we want to save this as a prefab. So I'll just rename this by left clicking on it, call it cube_prefab. Now I'm going to drag this into my project panel to create a prefab of it. And now I can drag this into my scene view as many times as I want. So it's going to have the exact same values as before. And what I want to do is I want to build a small wall of rigid body cubes. So I'm just going to drag one of these underneath the other one. That way we can group them together. And to duplicate these, what I can do is right click on it, go down to Duplicate, or I can also press Command D or Control D to duplicate it as well. Now they're being duplicated in the exact same position, so just drag them out. And these don't need to be super precise. And we're going to be creating a wall of these, so let's just kind of stack these up as well. So once again, Command D or Control D. And I'm just going to speed this up a bit because it is going to be the same process over and over again. Feel free to adjust this to your liking. So make as many cubes or as little cubes as you want. Now let's add a nice little platform, which will be a ramp for our vehicle. So I'm going to create a new cube. we're going to take all these cubes right here. So left click and shift to select all of these right here and drag these underneath the original cube prefab to group them together. That way all of our cubes are grouped together underneath this one prefab. Now I'm going to create a ramp. Let's go to Game Object, 3D Object, Cube. And now we're going to be using our Scale tool to scale this up. So something wide enough so that our vehicle can easily drive up it. And we need to rotate this so this acts as an actual ramp. I'm going to rotate along the x-axis here. I'm going to scale it up quite a bit along the z-axis there. And then also along the x-axis, so we have a nice wide ramp. And I'm holding down Alt and left clicking to orbit around. I'm going to move the car back here so we have a bit more room. I'm going to go back to my global coordinate system to move along the z-axis to move this over here. Let's give this ramp also the same material as the other cubes. I'm going to drag the red material from my project panel onto the ramp. And I'm also going to add in a bridge right here as well to connect the ramp. I'll rename this cube to ramp. I'll duplicate it. So right click, duplicate. I'm going to reset the rotation. So 0, 0, 0. I'll move it up along the y-axis using the global coordinate system. Move it forward and just connect these as best as possible. Now since we have all the cubes connected together in the same group, I'm just going to move this forward. And we can place those cubes right in front of the ramp right here. So as he falls off the ramp, he's going to fall into these cubes right here. Now lastly, I want to move my camera into position. We can either make it a child of the car itself, or we can have a fixed position. I'm going to make it a child of the car itself to make it a little bit easier to view. So to do that, we're going to take the main camera. We're going to drag it underneath the car. So now the main camera is a child of the car itself. And we can move it into position. And whenever you have the camera selected, you'll see a camera preview down in the bottom right. This lets you know what the camera is actually seeing. And you can also switch back into the game view to see what it looks like as well. All right, so I think we have something ready to play. So let's go into the game mode. Let's click on the game tab. Click on play, and note that we have maximize on play selected. Now you press the W key, you can go up the ramp. And there we go into our rigid body cubes. So once again, use the WASD keys to navigate around with the vehicle. So that was a very simple project that we built in Unity using pre-made assets like our vehicle. We've gone over how to build a very simple scene using our different cubes and components. And we've also gone over how to utilize the project panel, the inspector panel, and the hierarchy. Now this is just a taste of what you can do inside of Unity. If you want to learn more, I recommend following the Introduction to Unity course. There are also other courses that go more in depth with C# scripting, so you can learn how to build things like our vehicle controller here and other types of controllers. Now I hope you enjoyed this course, and thank you for watching.